I'm back home in Edmonton to declare my candidacy for Leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Canada.
The former governor of the Bank of Canada and Bank of England says only he has the experience to be Prime Minister.
I've helped manage multiple crises, and I've helped save 2 economies. I know how business works, and I know how to make it work for you.
A source close to Chrystia Freeland says when she launches her leadership bid, she'll scrap the consumer carbon tax, even though it's something she defended while in cabinet.
The price on pollution is something that leaves 8 out of 10 families better off.
The carbon tax has been a signature policy of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and he continued to endorse it as presumptive frontrunners could be walking away from it.
Future governments will make the choices they make, but Canadians can know that it is possible to both fight climate change and put more money in the pockets of the middle class at the same time.
Now, without the consumer carbon tax as a ballot box issue, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre could have to fight an election on Canada's response to punishing tariffs from the U.S. He was called out by Freeland on social media, asking if he would stand up to President-elect Donald Trump, pointing out Danielle Smith did not side with other premiers in keeping all retaliatory options on the table. Poilievre has said he's in favor of targeted tariffs, but blamed the Liberals for a possible trade war.
Right when the president is threatening us with tariffs, what is the first thing the Liberal Party of Freeland and Carney think to do? Divide Canadians, divide our provinces.
Now, the deadline for leadership candidates to enter the race is exactly 1 week away. Freeland will do so on Sunday, while it's expected Liberal House Leader Karina Gould will do the same this weekend. Sandy?
All right, Mike, thank you. Let's bring in CTV's chief political correspondent, Vassy Kapelas. Vassy, we all watched, well, at least I did, and I'm sure people in the newsroom as well, and you, Mark Carney's announcement very closely, watching his body language, his face. How did he do?
Well, I think, Sandy, he definitely wanted to convey to Canadians who aren't familiar with him a little bit about his background and what his focus will be, as Mike pointed out very squarely as he communicated on the economy. I think he also, though, in the sort of liberal world and the political world, had to prove that he had political chops, because there was a lot of questions. There have been a lot of questions about whether or not he does. I think the other night on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart went well for him among Liberals. That's how they've conveyed it to me. I would say so far, based on the communication I'm getting, this went a little less so. So I think there was some appearance of flatness on his part in energy compared to what he conveyed in that other interview. And so a little bit of nerves being communicated to me about how he's going to do kind of at the door and in these kinds of crowds throughout the campaign, and even a general campaign should he win the leadership.
Okay. Vassy, a question about something else for you now. The Prime Minister today launched a Canada-U.S. Relations Council to deal with the threat of tariffs. Now, on the panel are some pretty impressive names like Jean Charest, former Alberta Premier Rachel Notley, Canada's ambassador to the U.S. What do those names tell you, and also coming 4 days away from the inauguration?
I think it tells us, Sandy, that there is some real legitimate worry about these tariffs being applied pretty soon and to pretty disastrous impacts on the economy. It is very similar to the approach that so-called Team Canada took the first time around during the NAFTA negotiations, where there were politicians from all different parties and lots of business people. I think it shows that the government and everyone in this country really is taking the threat very seriously. Sandy?
Okay. All right, Vassy, thank you as always.